Trafalgar D. Waterlaw is about to die, lads. Alright, let's talk about it. We're going to talk about Blackbeard versus Law because his crew ain't going to do shit. And let's get started. Alright, I wanted to do a quick correction from my review. Quick off. It was actually not Von Agar. The sickness fella. I'm going to get his name up right now. The guy who gives the diseases that did the gender swap thing. Which I don't know what that says, but we're going to move on from that. What was his name? Do they have the name up here somewhere? Fucking not Burgess. What is it? It's not Von Agar either. What's his name? Can't. Where is it? Doc Q. Yeah, it's Doc Q who does like the gender swaps because it's somehow considered a disease. I don't know. Maybe because it's like against the person's will. I don't know. But in that case, you can do anything. Like, oh, I can set you aflame. It's against your will, so it's like a disease. You know what I mean? So, in that context of that fruit, it's fucking overpowered. So, he's about to die. Law's about to get wasted, bro. Absolutely destroyed, and I can't wait to see it. Because I don't know how it's going to go down. But, as you know, my main theory here is Al-Kiji's going to stop it somehow. He's going to argue. He's going to bring Puddin in, and he's going to be like, alright, job done. We need this guy. He's important. He's going to make up some reason he's important. It might even be the eternal, like, life surgery. You know, they might want that, and they need Law to cooperate. And they're going to find a way. They're going to, like, beat him within an inch of his life, but they're still going to keep him alive for that surgery. Because, obviously, Blackbeard might be like, I can do what I want if I have that. Like, I'm immortal, you know what I mean? Fuck yeah. So at that point, it's like, how are they going to do this? That's the main option. I think Al-Kiji will stop it because I feel like I've kind of bought into the theory from Randy Troy, and I'm going to mention this every time, that Law is part of Sword, but even if he's not, I still feel like Al-Kiji will stop it because Al-Kiji probably doesn't want one of the worst generation who have the potential to stop Blackbeard at a later date to be taken out this early on before he's even bloomed, right? And so he's going to want to, in a way, prevent it, and he's going to come up with the excuse of the eternal youth surgery, right? In that regard. Now, Blackbeard's not a youthful man. He's like 47 or something like that, so I guess the name of the surgery doesn't really make sense, but you know how it is. Now, there could be many other ways he could handle this, right? We could get Law escaping using the extended room, but again, we don't know how far Von Agar's warp fruit works, so that could be nullified. Or it could be as simple as like Kobe popping up because we know he's kidnapped, but if he's on the ship that Blackbeard's on, he could be like, oh no, that's against our deal. Because we're assuming Kobe's in on some sort of deal Rayleigh made. I don't think Rayleigh would just like give him Kobe, right? There has to be some reason Kobe went with Blackbeard. So maybe he's like, nah, that's not. You know, maybe Kobe has some value. It could just be he was kidnapped by Blackbeard. But you could argue it. It's not a thing I'm going to die on because I still actually think Blackbeard just beat the shit out of him and took him with him. Or Rayleigh was just like, yeah, fuck you, kid, man. Goodbye. You know what I mean? Something like that. But I do feel like Law's going to escape somehow, whether it's within an inch of his life or he's going to be kidnapped. I feel like it'd be interesting to have them all in one place because it would give Luffy a lot of reason to go there, right? He beat up Boa Hancock, he took Kobe, and he took Law. And we know Law's an honorary straw hat, right? So he took a straw hat, bro. He took a straw hat. So Luffy's not going to take that line down, and I feel like that would be a handy way to start a massive conflict with Blackbeard. And the thing is, because we're on Egghead Island, and it's not isolated from the world, but at the same time, they don't want Vegapunk getting any information because they're going to assassinate him. So it's kind of like Wano in that sense. We're not going to get any information, or Luffy's crew isn't going to get the information it needs to go and save them right now. So it's going to be end of arc stuff when, like, let's say when Lucci and stuff show up and the information is dropped and things like that, and we're going to head off that way. Now, it does make me think Elbath might not happen, but again, if things happen differently and it's not a Luffy goes to save Kobe sort of deal, and it's more of a what might happen here is because this is happening in the middle of an arc instead of after the arc, they could converge at the end of Egghead. So it might be something where they meet at the end of Egghead, or they have a conflict with the Marines and that gets Law back or something. Because all the members of the Rocky Port incident are within Blackbeard's grasp right now. at minimum, I feel like we're going to get a Rocky Port flashback in this arc. It feels like it's happening. There's build up to it. Or we're at least going to be explained what the Rocky Port incident is to some degree. Also, I don't know if you can hear screaming. Leeds versus Arsenal is on downstairs. So there's some rage. And I don't know if Arsenal scored or what. But I'm in a house of Leeds fans. So yeah, if they scored, that's probably why. But anyway, back on topic. You probably couldn't hear the screams, to be fair, but just in case, I can hear them reverberating through the floors. But that's how Law's going to be screaming when he gets his ass beat, bro. No, but then you could have it where Law might actually beat Blackbeard in a way, right? Where he might, not in terms of like he actually wins, but in terms he beats him up enough to escape. Because Law might keep his distance. He knows about Blackbeard's fruit. And let's say he keeps his distance and just keeps swapping different things, and obviously Van Anger could switch. But if Law's crew is any way competent now, no, Law's getting his ass kicked. Alright, he's not winning against Blackbeard. But it is interesting to see. This might push Law over the edge, right? Because we all know hockey blooms during a tough situation. And Law has not really been in a super tough situation, right? Okay, he fought against Big Mom. But let's be honest, boys. Let's be 100% honest here. The man was support. Every single attack he got off in Big Mom was initiated by Kid, and he done it. He got behind her, he got out of her line of sight and took the shot, right? Whereas here it's going to be at minimum a 1v1, if not a 4v1. And Law's either going to get captured, and Law's crew will have to become stronger, and that's how we're going to have Law's crew become stronger, because this will be the inciting incident, and they might, you know, go find Luffy. You know, they might be like, Luffy might help us or something like that. Or someone they know. Or Sengoku. I don't know. Maybe the Marines get involved. Maybe that's why the Marines get involved. They're like, fuck Kobe, but Law's like a kid to Law's like my grandson. I gotta go after him, bro. So like Sengoku pops up at Full of Lead Island or something. There's a lot of interesting ways this could go. And I'm very excited to see what happens with Law, to be fair. And man, I hope, in a way I'm disappointed, right? Because he hasn't kept the 1-0 look with the yellow shirt. He's wearing a tank top now. The yellow shirt was like really fucking fire, and I'm disappointed he got rid of it. But you know, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I realize my chair's been going down throughout this video, so you know how it is. I need to buy a new one, but no, I can't afford it right now. I'm not gonna lie. But that's my point, right? Law is going to be incredible this arc. It is going, because we're going to get, hopefully, what I'm hoping for right now is we're going to get flashbacks of the two Law and Kid, right? We're going to see where Kid went next chapter, because we saw where Law went this chapter, right? And maybe all three of them converge, all three plot lines on Egghead, on wherever Kid is, and on where Law is right now, all converge into the one area. And if this is Full of Lead Island, you know, because it sounds like Blackbeard's there already. If they are on Full of Lead Island, then it would make sense. Maybe Kobe can get involved, or Aokiji can get involved. And maybe instead of all three plot lines converging, the plot line from the cover story converges with Law's plot. So then we have what I said originally with Aokiji stopping it, which I think is the most logical way to go about this. But would that be fun to most people? I would enjoy it. Aokiji's one of my favorite admirals. He is my favorite admiral, right? So I would love more Aokiji anyway. And I have another video planned on how this is going to continue Sanji's arc outside of Egghead. I thought it was going to finish in Egghead, but I don't think so now. I have a new idea with this cover story, but we'll talk about that later on in another video. But I think there is only two options. Either it's stopped by Aokiji, Law escapes, or Law dies. Now, I did see a thing on Twitter. Unfortunately, I can't remember the poster. It was like, this is the same scene, right? So people think Law is going to die. The reason I don't think Law is going to die is simply because I don't see the value for Blackbeard on killing Law besides getting his fruit. But the thing is, if he gets Law's fruit, he won't be able to get that surgery done on him, right? So it's like, well, what's the point? Because I will have to take my own life now to give someone else the surgery instead of beating him within an inch of his life and forcing him to get the surgery, give me the surgery. And you could say maybe that's it. Maybe Law has to give him the surgery at the end and he dies here. That would be interesting. And maybe having Kobe and Law incites the Marines incident if the sword thing is true. You know what I mean? And this could start the big war against the Marines I was talking about, that Luffy will join in on after he finds the One Piece and the final saga begins. But I'm starting to think the final war and finding the One Piece will happen in tandem with each other, which is interesting because I feel like Law or Oda is rushing things along, not in the sense that he's rushing the story, but he's combining a lot of ideas he might have had for separate islands into combined storylines, so it allows him to get through the story quicker, which is incredibly smart. But that being said, we could have a thing where Law's entire crew is completely decimated, and if he escapes, he has to join the Straw Hats. Oh, imagine that. We get Law joining the Straw Hats because his entire crew was absolutely and brutally murdered by Blackbeard. That would be interesting. But we never got to see Sir Long Beppo in that case, which is deeply disappointing. But hey, the anime might add it in the filler, you never know. They extended the whole Carrot Power Sparrow fight to like 4 episodes, so you know what, we can get that stuff here. But yeah, what do you guys think though about Law and what he might do? Because I think there's only 3 options. He either dies, Aokiji stops the fight, or he escapes somehow. But I hope it's not off screen, to be fair. I hope we get to see it. If he does die, at least I hope it's not off screen. I hope we get to see it and it's focused on a Law. Because he's like one of the biggest characters in the series right now. Everyone loves Law, you know what I mean? Everyone loves Law. I'm even thinking of cosplaying him for the next Comic-Con, you know what I mean? Everyone loves Law. And I hope whatever happens here is handled well.